How's it going, boys? The Trickham's back, and we're back at it again with another video guide. This one is going to be the Blunderbuss and the Ice Spike. Yes, you heard it. We've been playing with the Blunderbuss Ice Spike this entire week. If you've been checking out the stream lately, that's a weapon combination that we showcase this week, and that is what we're gonna start doing from now on. We're gonna be playing a different weapon combination throughout the week, and then on Sundays I will be releasing a video guide for that weapon combination and how it works. The reason I haven't, I'm not going to be playing Fire Staff too much lately is because we've been playing the Fire Staff for far too long, right? We know all of the ins and outs of the Fire Staff, and whenever we make a video guide for the Fire Staff, it's basically the same 3 abilities. The only thing that changes is, a little bit here and there, depending what other weapon you are playing with. And since the Fire Staff is just getting constantly nerfed, we decided to give it a stop for now, see how that weapons, evolves in the future. Until then, I'm going to start playing with a lot of weapon combinations and showing everybody how those weapons can work together. This week was this week was Ice Gauntlet and Blunderbuss, but the next week is going to be Spear Blunderbuss, and I'm going to be doing that every week from now on until probably we go back to the Fire Staff when we start playing Fire Staff all the time. But without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So for this build, it's going to look something like this. For the Ice Gauntlet, we're gonna go with our typical build. We're gonna get all of the Ice Spike, we're gonna get all of the Blizzards. We obviously making it to Ultimate Shield. We need to get Heavy Freeze and Critical Frost. These two are mandatory, and this plays very well with all of the points because it gives us enough points to make it to Defiant Freeze and also Refreshing Frost. So this setup right here, I think it's one of the best setups for the Ice Spike because it gives you the most amount of survivability and it gives you the most amount of damage, right? You need Defiant Freeze. That way, since we're going to be close to the enemy, we're going to be using, we're going to be getting hit sometimes. So by getting Defiant Freeze every time we use either Ice Shower, Ice Spikes, or Ice Storm, we just get that nice 20% damage reduction for 2 seconds. And obviously, we want Refreshing Frost, right? This bad boy right here makes a lot of plays, being able to be done because of that nice cooldown that we get back after we use an ability on top of a frozen area, which is either the Ice Storm or the Ice Shower. You can also use it on top of the Pylon, but, well, we won't be able to be playing with the Pylon this time. This is how it's going to look, all right? Ice Spike, Blizzard, and Shower. We obviously going to get Heavy Freeze, Critical Frost. We're going to need these two for our burst together with Ultimate Shield, and we also gonna get Defiant Freeze and Refreshing Frost. For the Blunderbuss, this is the way that I like to play my Blunderbuss. I like to go all the way down to Barb Netting. You guys know that this deals a lot of damage, especially if you hit a squishy guy, like somebody with 100 con, with not a lot of defenses. You hit him with that Barb Netting. The initial damage is not that big because after getting Barb Netting, decreases the initial damage of the shot by a lot, but then it gives us that nice bleed, right, which it can do anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 damage easily, increasing the damage of the net shot overall by a big jump. We're gonna get Ace of Shrapnel Blast, obviously all the way to the bottom. We're going to be getting Deep Load, and we're gonna be getting Fortifying Aggression. Obviously we're gonna get Unload. We're gonna make our way down over here to Last Chance. We're gonna pick Future Planning. This one is very good because every time we use one of the abilities, the other abilities gets reduced cooldown. We obviously want Honor Roll because we want to, to be as defensive as we possibly can since we're going to be playing a lot close to the enemy. This one is mandatory. Buyback. Every pellet that is a headshot reduces the cooldown by 0.5 seconds, by 0.5%. This is not really important or interesting, but it's mandatory because we need to make our way down here to Buckshot. Deals 10% increased damage to any target long as you have not damaged them in the last 8 seconds. Once again, this is not that big of a deal. At the beginning of the fight, you might initiate the fight with a net shot, and that net shot will do a little bit more damage, but again, not a big of a deal. But we need to make our way down here to Blast Shot, and we need to get that Ren. It's very, very important for this build that we utilize that Ren. We're not going to get Extended Chamber because we're not going to be doing a lot of damage with the Blunderbuss, right? And obviously, Last Chance, it's mandatory for any Blunderbuss build that you play. This is one of the best defensive abilities in the entire game, so it's a no-brainer to not get it. For the attributes for this build, I recommend that you go with 200 Constitution And it doesn't really matter if you want to go with 300 intelligence to 150. The reason I'm running over here with a little bit strength is because my Blunderbuss has strength in it. If not, I would have an intelligence Blunderbuss, push it all the way to 300 intelligence, do full damage with the Ice Gauntlet, Ice Spike, and then do a little bit less damage with the Blunderbuss, but it's okay. Just know that the 10% damage to physical and light heavy attacks, this does not apply to ranged weapons. Therefore, just ignore this, forget about it. You're not going to care about it. Like I said, if you want to go to 50 strength so you can do a little bit more damage with the Blunderbuss, it really makes no difference. The difference is so little that it matters not, all right? So if you want to go 300 intelligence, 200 con, or if you want to go, I don't know, 250 and 50, or in this case, as you guys can see, I'm 269. Nice, right? Because, you know, all of my gear has intelligence and constitution in it. And the only reason we had 36 strength over here is, like I said, because our Blunderbuss comes in with that strength. But in the next patch, you guys know that I will be playing Great Sword Blunderbuss. So having this strength Blunderbuss right here is actually quite nice for my arsenal whenever the next patch comes live. And that is it for the attributes. Let's go ahead and jump into the rotation on this build and how it works, right? Because that is what you guys are interested the most about. Actually, before we jump into that, a lot of you always ask what perks and what skills are mandatory for this build. For this build, all you need is net shot, okay? Net shot. If you have net shot on your weapon, that is all it's required of you, right? If you want to have the blast shot perk or the shrapnel blast, those are bonuses that it will help you overall, right? It will help you overall because the blast shot will make the enemy be a little bit slow, right? Whenever they get hit by the blast shot. And the shrapnel blast, since we get those fat, numbers with the shrapnel blast, it will be a nice leashing that we get there, right? But since I don't play Blunderbuss as my main weapon, I don't go out of my way to get all of the perks to have the complete build. So as long as you have net shot on the weapon, you could literally not run any other perk Blunderbuss related on your gear, because in reality, all we need is net shot. The other two perks that you can get, they will be extra, they will be nice, but it's not mandatory. It is not, don't go out of your way to make it happen, unless that you want to make this build your main build, then go for it. But since I'm switching build constantly, because I'm gonna be making these videos, and since I'm a main fire staff, I'm usually just gonna keep with my fire staff gear, even if I'm not utilizing the fire staff, because it really isn't required. If one day I'm switching my main build from fire staff to something else, then I might start looking into changing my perks, which is probably gonna be the next patch. But for the great sword, we don't really need that many perks. For the cross cut, it's not that necessary. But that's the story for another video, right? For the ice gauntlet, all you need is unending thought, right? If you have unending thought somewhere on your gear, then you can go with a more aggressive ice gauntlet, something like this, right? King Vicious and Frost Attunement. That way, those ice spikes are always very nice and juicy, and that Frost Attunement makes you deal more damage and make you even more bursty, right? Because this is what this build is all about. This build is not about sustained damage. This build is all about burst. It's burst with the ice spike. If you don't kill it with the ice spike, then it's burst with the Blunderbuss. And shit, if you don't kill him with those two, then it's time to turn around, get a little bit of distance, and just rinse and repeat, all right? But yeah, so all you need for the ice gauntlet is unending thought. If you want to get deadly showers, it's up to you, right? It's all right. And refreshing frost, right? That's what it's called. No, it's ice refresh. I like to run this because this is my anti-archer build and anti-musket, and usually those guys are very squishy. So whenever I'm doing OPRs or arenas, I get a lot of kills with those ice spikes, making some of my cooldowns, my ice cooldowns go down drastically, right? Ice refresh, once again, it's not mandatory, it's not required, it's just if you want to do it, it's up to you, right? The two perks that are mandatory for this build and this setup is the net shot and unending thought. That's about it. Why unending thought, right? Well, unending thought is because whenever you put that blizzard on top of the enemies, you want to hit those heavy attacks. But we all know that those heavy attacks don't always land whenever we want them to, right? And making the enemy slower for 2 seconds after they leave the ice storm give us a more chance to land those heavy attacks on the enemy and freeze them. And on top of that, it adds a little bit of damage to the blizzard, but it's not that big of a deal. Net shot, in the other hand, this is our bread and butter, all right? That 57 stamina regeneration for a second is insane. It is insane. This is what makes almost everything possible, as you guys saw in my previous build with the fire staff. The net shot is just so powerful, so strong. But this is required. Why? Because otherwise we'll never be able to catch an archer. Otherwise we'll never be able to catch a musket or any of those guys that run a lot. So this is a very good ability, and I hope that this never gets nerfed, because if it gets nerfed, then the Blunderbuss will get absolutely nothing to catch up to, you know, those squishy guys that are always running. And since it's such a melee weapon, right, you really need to get close and personal to the enemy, and without the net shot, it will not be possible. For the gems on the Ice Gauntlet, we always going to be using Opal, all right? No Malachite. Forget about Malachite. Malachite, it's an old gem. It doesn't work anymore with the Ice Gauntlet. Just forget about the Malachite. Opal is the way to go. Opal will increase your damage of the Ice Gauntlet by 50%. All of the time, as long as that stamina is not full, which is most of the time, right? You're gonna put a blizzard, you're probably gonna roll forward, and then you're gonna roll before you use the ice spike, and it's just like that. As long as you use a roll before an ability of the Ice Gauntlet, you will get that increased damage. For the Blunderbuss, as you guys know, if you're running a lot more than 150 intelligence, then the tier 2 gems will be doing more damage than any other gem in the game. It will be doing more damage than an Opal tier 5, and they will also be doing more damage than an elemental tier 5. So a tier 2 elemental, and we're picking the aquamarine over here. And since we're playing with the Ice Gauntlet, right, that ultimate shield from the Ice Gauntlet buffed the damage for the Blunderbuss, increasing our damage even more, right? And that's about it for the gems. The next patch, right? A lot of people on every single one of the videos that I release, you guys ask me, why are you using that gem? Why are you using the small gem? And the answer is because the small gem is doing more damage than any other gem in the game, as long as you have a lot of intelligence. If you don't have a lot of intelligence, then you will use a normal, bigger, you know, tier 5 gem. But if you have a lot of intelligence, the tier 2 gems, it doesn't matter the element. It could be arcane, it could be fire, whatever it is. As long as it's a tier 2 gem, it will do more damage than any other gem in the game. The reason we prioritize Aqua is, well, because of the ultimate shield from the Ice Gauntlet. But also, that is changing next patch, so be tuned for that. On the next patch, I will tell you guys which are going to be the best gems for every weapon that we use as a mage. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to the rotation. So the rotation is going to go something like this. The fight is going to start. Immediately, you're going to start, you want to land that net shot, right? You're going to go ahead, you're going to land that net shot. As soon as you land the net shot, the enemy is going to be slow, right? Whenever the enemy is slow, you're going to put that blizzard on top of them. Usually what happens when the enemy gets on top of a blizzard, well, they want to roll away from it. One, they don't want to get damage from the blizzard, and two, they don't want to get hit by the heavy attack. What are they doing in this case? They're just dodging, right? And that is exactly what we want. Even if we don't land the attacks, all of we want is for the enemy to use their stamina and run out of stamina, because then we can proceed to hit them with a net shot, ice spike, etc. You name it. So the fight will start. You're gonna hit them with the net shot. You're gonna hit them with the blizzard. We're gonna bait those rolls, right? We're gonna bait those rolls. We obviously gonna be walking a little bit forward. We want to be somewhat in a close range from the enemy. You don't want to be too far whenever you freeze the enemy, because if you're too far whenever you freeze the enemy, that means that you won't be able to hit them with the ice spike or the Shrapnel Blast. So you're gonna hit them with a net shot. You're gonna use the blizzard. You're gonna start closing in. If you're able to land a heavy attack, then you're gonna go with the ice spike, switch to the Blunderbuss, and go with a full rotation of a basic attack Shrapnel Blast, right? Because if you hit them with the ice spike, they're gonna be staggered. You roll forward, they're out of stamina, basic attack Shrapnel Blast, boom, they are dead, right? If they are out of stamina, you can also hit them with a blast shot. You guys know that. So you can hit them with a net shot. You can hit them with a blizzard. If you are not able to hit them with one of these basic attacks and they run out of stamina, then you can close in, hit them with this basic attack, Shrapnel Blast, right? Basic attack. That is a basic combination. If by any chance you use your Shrapnel Blast, because it happens, right? Because it happens, and you have your blast shot ready, well, then we have another way to do a very nice burst with the ice spike after the blast shot. Here, I'm gonna get the blast shot on, you know, off of cooldown. So it will go something like that. You hit him with a net shot, you hit him with a blizzard, you hit him with this, whatever. If they're out of stamina and you don't have the shrapnel blast, you can hit him with this bad boy. They will be pushed back almost at a very sweet spot. Or as soon as you hit him with a blast shot, you can go ahead and send that ice spike in there and then finish him off. Basically doing the same thing that you were to do with the shrapnel blast, but in this case, we will do it with the ice spike. And that is the beauty of this build, right? You will hit him with a net shot, you will hit him with a blizzard, you force their stamina to go down. If by any chance you're able to freeze him, then you're gonna send the ice spike running, basic attack, shrapnel blast, basic attack. And dude, that is such a nice burst. It's such a crazy burst that sometimes you can even kill the healers in one go. They don't even see it coming. They don't even have to be below 80, 70, 60%. They could be at full HP, right? You hit them with that net shot. That net shot is doing a little bit of damage, not that big of a deal. The blizzard, you put it on top of them and you come in with the ice spike. The ice spike takes them down to like 60%. And since they're in stagger, then you can come in forward, hit them with a basic attack, shrapnel, basic attack combination. And that, you guys know, that is brutal, right? So those are basically their rotations. Their rotation is net shot, blizzard, force the stamina. If you're able to land a heavy attack, send the ice spike, switch to the blunderbuss, and do the blunderbuss combination. If by any chance you miss the ice spike, because it can happen, it happens all the time. We're not perfect, right? And then the enemy's out of stamina, we can still proceed to move forward to them. Hit them with a blast shot, roll forward, basic attack, shrapnel blast, basic attack if you haven't used one of those basic attacks. And that's basically the main rotation. Once again, I'm gonna show you guys. So it's gonna be the net shot, blizzard on top of the enemy, force those rolls, right? Force those rolls, force the enemy to run out of stamina. The moment they run out of stamina, even if they're already been out of the blizzard and you're no longer able to freeze them, right? Then you're gonna come in with that ice spike, pam, pam, and pam. And even you probably will have the net shot off a cooldown, because the net shot has a relatively low cooldown, and this is if the fight lasts a little bit longer than just at the beginning of the combat. And that's about it. That is the basic rotation, how this build will work, and the methodology of it. So you will hit them with a net shot, you force them to waste their stamina, you put the blizzard on top of them. Now they are slow, they're bleeding because of the net shot. You put the blizzard on top of them, they're ticking. They're really getting a lot of damage because that net shot and blizzard combination, look at those ticks, right? It's a lot of damage that you pump it in there just with dots, right? This is nothing main yet, just with dots. And then obviously you will be sending in your heavy attacks, trying to do that a little, you know, extra damage, because that heavy attack, light attack afterwards, that pumps, right? That deals a lot of damage. So sometimes even before you get close to the enemy to hit him with the ice spike or shrapnel blast basic attack, they're already around 60-50% because of the net shot, the blizzard, and the heavy attack, light attack. If you are close to the enemy and you freeze them with a heavy attack, then don't do a light attack because you will be wasting time, right? So you do the heavy attack, you freeze them, ice spike, boom, pang, and para pang, boom, right? Just like that. It's that simple. That is the basic rotation of this build and how it would work. Obviously, it doesn't always work like this, but there is where the ice gauntlet beauty comes in, right? You have the shower, basic attack, shrapnel blast, basic attack, right? That is always there. If you have a melee that is rushing you, all right, previously I showed how the fight will go at the beginning. Let's say that this is a completely different scenario. Now the fight already started, your initiation missed or failed and it didn't work out the way you wanted to, then you always have your ice gauntlet to set up this skills, even if it is, you know, even if it didn't happen at the beginning, right? You always you have him here with the blizzard. If you get him with the ice shower, you don't even have to send the ice pack. You can come over here, papa, if your ice pack is on cooldown, because they will be under that shower, right? The beauty of this as well is if you get them with the rain, right? They start dodging because they don't want to get hit by the heavy attack, or they don't want to get hit by the ice spike. So usually what happens, they use all of their stamina, boys. They use all their stamina by just one rain, right? They don't want to get hit by the heavy attack. They don't want to get hit by the ice spike. So by the time you use the heavy attack, you use the ice spike, probably they're also going to be out of stamina. And what happens if they are out of stamina? Well, boom, boom, pa, para boom, right? We hit them with our juicy blunderbuss combo. And this is a very well-rounded build because you have an escape with this, you have a very good damage with the blizzard and on top of the enemies, You have a good burst with the ice spike, which is also a stagger. You have the rain that could work as a, you know, as a root in front of you, so you can hit him with that basic attack Shrapnel Blast combo. And all of that together make this two weapons combination very, very powerful, and it's so successful if you play it right. Like, my god, you can kill healers, you can kill tanks, you can kill anything you want with it, because you guys know the ice spike deals a pretty nice amount of stamina damage, and so does a basic attack Shrapnel Blast basic attack that will get the shield guy and melt it down to the ground. The grenade on the floor after the Shrapnel Blast, that cannot be blocked. The blizzard cannot be blocked either, right? So all of those things are work very well together whenever you are fighting any type of class. But, well, that is it for the build, the attributes, and the talent perks. Now, I'm going to show you guys some clips, and I hope you guys enjoy. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one, boys. And that's about it, you boys. If you guys liked it, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel. That way I keep on bringing this guide for you guys. If you guys have any question about the build or New World and PvP in general, just go ahead and drop by the stream. I stream almost every single day from Monday through Saturday, starting at noon EST. So if you guys have any questions, just drop by and I will be happy to answer any of you guys' concern or question. But until then, you guys have an awesome day and cheers.